All right, and now we're live. Yay!
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 Hello, everybody.
Hello. I just saw a post on the Facebook page like 15 minutes ago, and I was trying to tell Darren about it. I'm gonna have to find out uh, when this is going to be for here in the United States because they're like ahead of us in Egypt, but it's like 6 p.m. Cairo time. They're going to have a procession. They're going to take the bodies of like all the pharaohs that are in the old Cairo Museum in Tahrir Square, and they're going to bring them to the new museum. And so they will be going in procession, which is a very Kemetic thing to do.
So somebody find out when that is so we
Yeah.
can suddenly drop this whole thing and watch that. I'm
hey,
joking.
You want me to rough you up?
Yes.
We don't matter.
Yeah. And hey, everyone. Yeah. Well, here's what's really funny about this. The today, looking at my calendar, okay, the gods are in festivity, and it is the going forth of Khonsu. Well, I don't have a statue of Khonsu. I do have artwork, but I haven't been able to make any plaques for him because I have been basically out of the supplies. The little wood pieces that I need, I'm out until I can actually cut some more by hand. And it's delaying, my Etsy store. But I do have a statue of the pharaoh, and we have a statue group surviving that has Amun, Mut, and Tutankhamun in place of Khonsu.
Right.
Because he was, taking the role of, the son of Amun and Mut in that statue group. So I said, well, let me go ahead and use my statue of Tutankhamun for Khonsu, kind of the same thing. And, well, what do you know? The pharaohs are going to be going in procession, in probably a little less than 24 hours. So it worked out rather nicely.
It's appropriate that
yes.
he's still in the position.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's serendipity, I guess.
You have what you need, don't worry not.
Yeah. Yes, and someone says, Darren, you cakey nerd. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So okay. Well, Rebecca, thank you for that that link that you shared. Cairo time is Greenwich Mean Time plus 2 hours. Now I have no idea what that would be in Central Standard.
Please figure out what that would be for
Yeah.
Central Standard Time US. Those of us without the brain need to know.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I could tell you, like a time difference between where I am and Eastern or Pacific, but that's because I'm most often referring to those.
Right.
I'm trying to,
Talking about Cairo,
Yeah. It's I know it's relatively close to when Eastern Europe would be. So I think it's gonna end up being like in the morning or something.
Yeah. Somebody help us out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And somebody had a prayer request already. Because their grandmother passed away unexpectedly on Monday, and so
Man.
we'll definitely keep them in our prayers.
Yes.
So so we have good things and sad things, but that's life. It's all of that going on at once.
If I may interject, there's a wonderful thing that I've learned regarding grief. And it is this. When you grieve someone because you miss them and you love them and you're selfish and you want them with you, and you miss them and it's not fair, take a moment and dance. Because you have all those feelings. Because it means you wasted no time. You loved them. It mattered. You did something both of you will remember on either side of the veil.
Yeah.
There is no true loss here.
Mhm.
What's killing us is we're not going to see him for a while.
Yeah.
And we had more to do.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, we always have more to do. I've never met anybody that said, you know what, they died, it's okay. I'm glad, let them go. I don't miss them. I don't regret a damn thing.
Mhm.
Unless they were absolute sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But grief is a good thing because it means no time was wasted.
It means you cared and you know.
You loved.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah.
So yes, grieve, but celebrate that as well.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's Khonsu tonight. Yes, and nothing. If you can see on the video that the centerpiece is actually the a statue of King Tut himself, but here he's taking on the role of Khonsu as the son of Amun and Mut for our going forth. So that again to kind of recap for those that just tuned in.
In the Old West, he'd have been what they call a stand-in.
Cool. And, your advice was well received. So.
Love you too.
Alrighty, guys. Well, are we ready to say some prayers and send out some good vibes?
Yeah.
All right.
But first, the waterworks.
I'll get you, my pretty.
Isn't that someone else's one?
Sometime.
These cool waters are upon my hands. They purify me as Tiffany purifies me. Hail unto you, I next to you. We come unto you. Come here, you. Without falsehood, without evil. Yes. Because that all evil that pertains to us. Yeah. Purities upon our hands, our purities in our hearts. Casting all evil that pertains to us. Yeah. We are pure, we are pure, we are pure, we are pure.
We are pure and we are married.
Yeah.
The
Casting out
problem
evil,
with this is what?
laughing as a child, yes. Well, actually, what's funny, and I think I found an article on academia.com that I need to read about this, but there's a ritual, and we know it from temple reliefs in the Ptolemaic period, but also going back to the New Kingdom, and it's the ritual of striking the ball. And this was, casting out evil, the evil eye of the serpent. And the pharaoh would do this before goddesses like Hathor and Sekhmet. And the description says that he would be laughing and enjoying himself as a child. So that was part of casting out evil, was laughing and I guess being silly. So Darren is fulfilling that part of it for us.
You are welcome. This oddly reminds me of my grandfather's funeral. We were leaving the funeral home to go to the cemetery.
Uh-huh.
And I passed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he's in his coffin.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I heard his voice.
Uh-huh.
And he said something to me, and I won't say what it was.
Uh-huh.
But I just busted out laughing because he was referring to something that he and I had done together in the kitchen.
Hmm.
And I just busted out laughing, and my cousin looks down at me because he's pushing me, and he says, "This is not a place for laughter." I looked at him and I said, "Bullshit. If there was ever a time for laughter, lay your loved ones to rest with a giggle in your heart because you know time was well spent." And I've never forgotten that. That was my grandfather's last lesson to me. They don't leave you, they just leave here.
Well,
That's also often, if I remember correctly,
hmm.
Bess is often showed laughing.
Yes, yeah, and folks who've worked with Bess have said that, laughing and joking and making puns and things like that, that's very much him. So, uh, yeah. And he was a protective spirit too. So
Bess is still knocking on the door. He says, "Hey, I still want representation."
yeah. You know what? And I have some really nice artwork of him. And again, once I can go and
I know it's like, okay, I gotta have Khonsu, I gotta have Bess, I gotta have.
yeah.
Maybe it would be best if we worked on those things, huh?
I know you need to do some work with your airbrush in the carport, but we also need to account for time for me to try and cut some pieces for altar plaques.
Yes, that would be best. I mean best.
And moving right along. Come in peace, Bright Eye of Horus. Come in peace. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The Eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The Eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra in all of their abodes till none remain.
Say it. Receive the light.
Receive the light. The Eye of Horus comes to the four corners of creation. And we are purified with it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The idea being is wherever everybody is,
Mm-hmm.
if they say receive the light, they're toning the same energy
Yeah.
where they are.
That's right.
Once the Eye of Horus is reaching to wherever you are.
Say it. Receive it.
That's right. You arise in the Akeda as Khopri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, and hail and praise unto you, O Yunechiru, Amun, Mut, and Khonsu, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his Fet. And may you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us, and your strength being within us. Take these, your cool waters, which are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. Oyunechiru, These waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood of Yunachuru, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense great of purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. It cleanses you, it adorns you. It takes its place upon your hands. O Yunachuru, we give you this incense, which is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, O Yunachuru. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. The gardens prosper, and happy rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, O Yunachuru. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. That's what I needed to pull out of the box this evening.
What's that?
Oh, the myrrh. See, I suspect one of the jobs of a Wab priest probably was before services to go and make sure that everything was in place, and this candle was set up, or torch, or lamp was set up, and you had this clean, and water was here for that, and so on.
Make sure there was enough oil, there was enough wick, there was this and that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot to get the one.
Yeah, that's called. I'm the head priest is gonna go and chastise some Wab priests.
Yeah.
But that also means they were the ones that were very hardworking. Ideally, they were the ones that made sure the show ran as it should. But here we go. Pure, pure is Ra Horaketi within his house. Pure, pure is Khonsu within his house. It's Amun and Mut within their house. Pure are the Kazades Necharu with this good myrrh that is given. Jehuti proclaims it. It is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure, for Ra Horaketi, for Amun, for Mut, for Khonsu, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra Horaketi. Come to your bodies, O Khonsu, O Amun, Mut. Come to your bodies, O Necharu. Come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings. Partake of them. Come, O people. Raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Amun, before Mut, before Khonsu. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. Kemetic and your son, the Osir Nisu Nebkabrara. Your foes retreat from you. Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. And we will honor our blessed dead. We light the eye of Horus for them. And bring them these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Ore keru ta henket kakao apdu sinachurmerhat kutnibet nafret wabet akhet nachurim in kawan akupunibu makerunibu herunachura. Voice offering of bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which a god lives, for the cause of all of these aku, all true of voice before the great God. We come unto you, O Ra, as Jehuti comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased, and your Ka shall live. Truly, your Enid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Enid says unto you, your word is law eternally. Isfet is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day. Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. And may we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Jehuti, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Okay. And I'm going to start with a hymn to Khonsu. And if you guys have any requests for anyone, just put them up there. Let's see. There we are. It's Khonsu the child. Khonsu the child, very great, firstborn of Amun, goodly youth, sweet of love, king of all children, babe born alive who repeats births like the sun disk, who repeats the renewal of Ra in Thebes, babe in the morning, old man in the evening, youth who renews at the proper times, who arrives as an infant after his old age, whom Mut gave birth to in Thebes as the august child, the living one in his manifestation of Khepri, Ra after he repeated births, a tomb in the evening within the entrance of Manu. Iris of the Ujat, Horus is a young child, babe of Amun-Ra, lord of food, plentiful of sustenance, lord of offerings, who gives to those he loves. And since we've got her on, did I step on something? Yes, I did. So there. There we go. A little grill lighter. We'll also light our candle for Sekhmet. As we want to ask for her continued protection as we continue to fight this pandemic and as we try to deal with the stress and the anxiety and everything that comes about either because of the pandemic or just because of life in general. Because it all applies. Come on. It's glowing, but it's not. Hold on.
Let me see.
It's just having to melt enough wax to get some fuel going. There we go. Yeah. Because that's what makes a candle work. It's not just the wick. It's got to have enough wax to.
I know.
I
was just going to see if I could help out.
Well, I think you did. So, so there we are. Hail, O Sekhmet the Great, the Eye of Ra, who hides him within her iris. Hail, Sekhmet, sovereign, mistress of light, who moves in brightness. In peace, Sekhmet, mistress of darkness, whose setting the dusk comes. In peace, Sekhmet, mistress of fear, whose seal brings death. Hail unto you, Sekhmet, daughter of Ra, who loves Ma'at, who detests Sfet. Most holy of the gods, one seeks life in you.
Question. How can one be most holy of the gods when you're not Ra?
That's the fun thing about polytheism. Is in that moment when you're addressing her, she is. It's kind of like when I said when I turn to Starscream and say, Starscream, I love you. You're my favorite. You're the best. But then I turn around and I grab Galvatron and say, Galvatron, I love you. You're the best. Doesn't mean that one of them suddenly isn't. It's just in that moment.
No, it doesn't. I ain't the best.
Yes, despite what what semantics there may be amongst the characters in question, that's kind of how I explain it. Is polytheism is not mutually exclusive.
I knew that, but it's also very in the moment, apparently.
Yeah. And
okay. I just had to ask because I didn't know, and I always wondered how that worked.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading right now. I'm reading a lot of a collection of mythology from that's in Akkadian. So you have like from Babylon and Assyria,
right.
And so you have lots of things to Ishtar and Shamash, who's the god of the sun. It's interesting. Has some things in common with Ra in that he's associated with justice and holding people to the oaths that they take, and things like that.
That seems to be a common thing with sun gods.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, there's plenty of stuff there where they say, so and so, whose commands cannot be changed, and you think, sooner or later there had to be a disagreement, and somebody says he gives one edict, and then somebody else is like, well, wait, but I was gonna, but you know what? That's the nature of polytheism. Is what in this moment, we're concentrating on you, but that doesn't negate anybody else, having awesomeness and so on. And especially because Sekhmet.
I recently had someone ask me, it's like, how can someone be the creator in this instance if someone else the creator over here. Doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, it does, but you have to look at it from a certain perspective.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, and now with Sekhmet, because she's very closely associated with Ra. She can be, every bit as holy and sublime as Ra because of that connection. But yeah, with the creators, you could have Ptah as the creator, Amun as the creator, Ra, as a Tum or Neith. But it's almost like in physics you have this idea of like the singularity at the beginning of time, or before what they call Planck time. None of the laws of physics can apply before then because nothing had separated out. So like all the forces, like electromagnetic, strong, weak, gravitational, those hadn't even separated and condensed, yet. So
the atomic solids and the everything that is the building blocks of creation as we understand it is not yet separate.
Yeah. So trying to say which one created, well, maybe they all did, and it's just as as creation went forward, the things separated out, and so you have more and more deities, and then more and more
I would be
things.
like, well,
Huh?
you can't have a rainbow without each color,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have a rainbow without each color. So. Oh, hang on, I'm just scrolling back a little bit here to see. Oh, okay. So it's going to be like it's going to be like 3:00 in the morning, apparently. Here. The procession.
We need to find a link because I'm going to watch it on the big TV.
Yeah. I guess we're going to be staying up late tonight. Yeah. Because it's
You can live stream that. Live stream the watching.
oh yeah, we have a watch party. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, someone else is saying, because they're under 21, they have to use, non-alcoholic libations. They've got like a sparkling. They've got sparkling grape juice and stuff.
Sparkling cider, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means, don't break the damn law. I mean.
Okay. Oh, and Ren has a prayer of thanks. My best friend's cat, Stinkerbell. I love that name. Came home after going missing for almost a week.
Did you tell him she'd been a stinker?
Stinkerbell. Well, what's funny is I had to sweep all of my kitty litter out of the carport because I had been using it to absorb oil because Megatron had an oil leak, and he was getting fixed, and there was still kitty litter in the carport, and well, some cat in the neighborhood found it and did what cats do. So
where you have kitty litter, you have buried treasure.
So I had to clean that kitty litter out of the carport. I'm thinking, if somebody's missing their cat, let me just put kitty litter out. They'll probably come find it. But
That's actually one way you can. They'll smell their own litter for miles, so they'll come.
Yeah. And Brian is here. Yay.
Hey, what's up?
So, I'm glad to see you. I understand, the being busy. Yeah. October anyway. Sure. Okay, so whatever time it is in Egypt, remove 11 hours for your local time. So thank you for mathing that. But and Oracle just joined us. Glad you're back and glad everything worked out. because they were taking care of some stuff.
You should have known it would.
Oracle, haha. But yes. So definitely prayers of thanks. Thank you to our feline goddesses for bringing Stinkerbell home. I guess Stinkerbell had to go take care of some kitty business.
Yeah.
Glad she's home safe. Like I said, I love the name.
Think of it as kitty communities work.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. I remember the last time that I went to my brother's house, which was this was several years ago. He had a girlfriend at that point, and she had a cat. And I remember somewhere they produced this plush snake. You remember that, Darren?
Yeah,
I think it was green. I can't remember, but I think it was. And they just threw this thing down, and I remember that cat grabbed a hold of it and just started raking with its claws. And I'm like, that is a servant bass doing.
That cat knows its job.
Yes.
I'm here to whoop that ass.
Yeah, we have to be extremely vigilant with Ophelia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have a pet snake named Ophelia, and they have to make sure the kitties don't.
Yeah, because the kitties will take care of the problem.
Well, except Ophelia is a good snake.
Yeah, but that's why you have to watch out for Ophelia.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing I did want to show you guys. I happened to go to a Middle Eastern grocery earlier this week and got some really nifty things, including these. And this, if Wolf is tuning in, I'm sure he'll get a kick out of this. Because these are basically Muslim holiday lights. Let me see if I can get them where you can see that. Because you have little fanus lanterns here, and then, of course, crescent moons and stars. And if I understand right, this is something that, Western traditions and Christmas lights kind of influenced them. And so now they have lights that they put up for Ramadan. But fanus lanterns like this, that goes all the way back to a tradition that comes out of Egypt. And so I got these. I was like, these are so neat. I might stick them up somewhere. Of course, moons and crescents, the reason why we associate it with Islam now is actually because of the Ottoman Empire. Because they used the moon and crescent in their symbols. And that's why the flag of Turkey has a moon and crescent in it. And lots of other countries that were part of the Ottoman Empire at one point. But also, us pagans, we love moons and crescent, stars and, symbols like that too. So I thought, oh, hey, something fun to set up maybe like for Egyptian New Year's or something. And especially because Khonsu is a lunar deity, I figured, show that off. And they had like these big fanus lanterns, like the real things that are made of metal and glass, but those were like $100+ Like, not this time. I'm doing enough damage just getting food. So. But and definitely say some prayers. Thanks for our kitty friends, for them being safe, and please help keep all of our pets safe because they help keep us sane and keep us company. And bring your light and love to all of those who are anxious, who are depressed, who are feeling like they could use a friend. Let them find a good friend. For people who, need their health restored, bring them the breath of life. And as the seasons turn, it's spring here in the northern hemisphere, it's turning to fall in the southern hemisphere. May it bring a promise of better tidings on the way.
breath, the ability to breathe. You can, since Almond is here, you can do the same with him too.
Yeah.
He also provides breath and life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody else is asking for prayer for the kitties in their neighborhood because they've got some woman setting up traps and barbed wire and stuff to catch strays.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
There's more humane ways to do things like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so feeding feral cats can be a problem, but most of the people feeding them in my neighborhood are just catching them and getting them fixed, which is a great thing. Yeah. And Slayer Lover 222 asks for prayers for success in their nursing studies. And yeah, nursing clinicals are no joke.
No, they are not.
Because my mother actually flunked out of those, so I know how tough that can be. And prayers for happiness and protection. May that lady's traps continually turn up empty.
Yes.
May they be as empty as those mole traps that they kept placing on. Never could find any.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We lit a candle for Sekhmet. I think Sekhmet would definitely be a good patroness for anyone trying to study nursing. So let's just say a prayer to Bast.
Why not the segment?
Well, for Bast for the kitties,
Okay.
and then hail and praise unto you, Bastet, Lady of Love, Lady of Life, daughter of Atum, firstborn of the Lord of all, greatest goddess, Lady of Heaven, mistress of all the gods. You open the movements of Shu, for he is your messenger. You slaughter with your arrows. You slay the evil one and seize the hearts of the wicked foes. Lady of the shrine, foremost of the sacred fields, mistress of perfume, mistress of joy. O Eye of Horus, O Eye of Ra, Uraeus, whom Ra loves, protect us until the dawn. And protect those kitties that are out there and that are doing your work. And we need more prayers to Sekhmet. So it just seems there's some folks that it's like you just can't have enough. But we have the litany to the arrows. But we ask you to please help Slayer Lover in their nursing studies. Give them the fortitude and the capability to pass their clinicals with flying colors. Hail, Sekhmet, who presides over the land, Lady of Flourishing, generous one, Sekhmet, who protects the two lands. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the first arrow of famine. Hail, Sekhmet, O Kurl, O hidden lady, Wajit the great. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the second arrow of drought. Hail, Sekhmet, who moves in light, who terrifies the gods with her massacre. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the third arrow of war. Hail, Sekhmet, who guides mankind, Lady of the dual shores, mistress of humanity. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the fourth arrow of terror. Hail, Sekhmet, great shining one, foremost in the mansion of flame, who terrorizes the two lands with fear. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the fifth arrow of storms. Hail, Sekhmet, who loves Ma'at and hates Zizfet, Lady of the people. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from the sixth arrow of oppression. Hail, Sekhmet, Uraeus, who opens the acacia, great and sovereign one. Come to us who are under your sway. Save us, protect us, and preserve us from from the seventh arrow of disease.
At least the forage got out of the canal.
Yes, the Ever Given is ever out of there.
Like I said, Ever Given's about to become a pejorative term.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really interesting to read about like the people in the little towns alongside the canal and some of the folks, who just their livelihood depends on the traffic going through there. And I hope that because some of them were affected, negatively by it, but now that it's unstuck, I hope that they prosper and that they're better for it, because one thing that this does illustrate is that Egypt is still vital to the rest of the world,
Right.
and not just for their ancient history, but think of how everybody was freaking out when that barge was stuck. So and I wonder how many things that we get that come like out of India and other places that if it comes to a port in the eastern United States, it might have come through the Suez Canal. And certainly if it goes to Europe.
While Egypt was well known for having high quality linen, now they do cotton.
Now they what?
They do cotton.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of that joke from Squidbillies.
Yeah.
That's horrible. If you've never seen Squidbillies, a lot of people didn't really get it, but it I recognized a lot of things.
Yep.
It hit pretty close to home.
Yeah, it is a very well done lampooning of Southern culture in the United States.
Yes, and a prayer to get the Oracle would like a prayer to get the vaccine soon. And oh, and it's funny. Wolf has a cat named Bast, and so because we were invoking Bast, the kitty ran over,
Oh.
jumped in his lap. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mine are starting to, whenever I sit down to do the prayer for eating, it's,
Yeah.
I go, second of yesterday, they come running, but oh, come on.
They know when the food's about to be there. Yeah. Okay. Well, Sarcastic. It's good to see you. Much love.
We're serious.
Yeah. And and Aminapis, you were mentioning, being single and trying to find happiness. Hang in there. I didn't get to date anybody until I got to college. And if you're still in high school right now, don't sweat it. People in high school don't know what they're doing anyway.
Yeah, I didn't date anybody either.
Yeah. And I think going away to college where, you're not staying in your parents' house and just going to classes and coming back home. If you actually go and you're living in a dorm, or an apartment, you're on campus, you get to meet more people.
Leave the town you live in.
Yeah.
Leave them behind forever. You will be better for it. And you will come home and go, how did I make it 18 years in this cesspool? Because, there are people I love dearly from my childhood and my teenage years. But every time I go home, I'm like, are you that fucking stupid? And the answer is yeah.
Oh, yes, and Ren is saying, you make the best friends in college. Yes.
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 I love you, Ren.
Gee, Ren. That's how I always, that's how I remembered your name. And so I always say it with a smile. So, yeah. Yeah, and Serrano's got some good advice. And it says, "I dated in high school. I didn't. I admit I wasn't ready for it until I got to college. Focus on what you enjoy and figuring out who you want to be and who you are.
Right. And make sure that, you know,
Yeah.
whoever you date likes the same shit you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No matter how nerdy, make sure they like the same shit you do.
Well, yeah, well, because I mean, well before we, were going out, we were, putting together my Starscream costume and, doing fun stuff like that. We had long phone conversations. You were telling me about the dogs you had,
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
We were friends long before we were anything else.
Yeah.
But I can also say this, I'll never forget this.
Huh.
Because I'm a big time Star Wars collector. My mom said to me once, well, what are you going to do when you meet a girl, And I said, so you're expecting me to give all this stuff up when I meet a girl? She goes, well, yeah, no girl's going to want to put up with this. And I said, Mom, I'm not going to have a girl that wouldn't have me, including my stuff.
And meanwhile, my, kind of a friend from my area was like, gee, Sharon, I feel sorry for whoever you marry because they're going to have to put up with like Transformers on, on the headboard or whatever. And I remember, one of the rare times that my mother actually said something that was logical and applicable and coherent, she said, well, whoever Sharon marries is going to have their own collection. And that's absolutely true. So yeah,
yes.
find people who have, whatever, feel, because I realize we're talking, guys and girls, because we're a straight couple, but regardless of what your orientation is, whoever it is that your potential, pool of candidates is, go for somebody who's a friend and has similar interests.
And here's a word of advice. If you meet someone and you love them and you go, well, they've got some really difficult flaws, but they'll change over time. They'll get better. No, they won't. Mm-hmm. Don't you ever buy that shit. You're not Superman. Mm-hmm. And you're not a god. You can't change people. Mm-hmm. They are who they are. Mm-hmm. Either you're comfortable with it or you're not.
Yeah. So there you go.
You don't want to get into a relationship with the idea of, I'll change them. Now, the idea is to accept what they are.
Exactly.
If things improve, all the better. But
see,
what they are.
I met Sharon, and the only thing I said was, she's a Transformer collector, and she doesn't have enough of them. Let me help. And boy, have I.
Yeah, and Rand was saying, I met my husband at a D&D game. We were friends for 10 years first. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, I realize because of the pandemic and everything else that's going on, it's really hard to go out and meet other people right now, but just hang in there.
It's becoming really, really common now for people to have digital relationships.
Yeah, and that's something funny, and I can remember scoffing at it at first. The idea of people meeting online and then getting together. And in the 90s when it was a brand new thing, yeah, it was like, is it really going to work out? But for some people it does. So,
a change in the paradigm, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I am going, since we've been talking about things like this, I'm going to go ahead and set the bowl here.
Do we have any pudding?
We have any what?
Pudding?
I've got a mix for vanilla pudding.
Okay. At least we've got some pudding. Thank you.
So to mix in with the cookies?
Yes.
Yes. So if anyone has requests for divination, we have fortune cookies. So, okay. Well, we'll start with Yamanu. And there's like a couple of them here. Tell you what, let's see if one of them, hang on, Darren. Okay. You're having fun with the elephant.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Yamanu. Your fortune says. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Yeah, so if something feels like a setback, it's not the end. Just have patience. Never
I've been going up steps many times.
Yes. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. So. Okay, Wolf wants one, and then Amenopus, and then Celery. And Domina. Let's see, like the cookie with words. Okay. All right, I tell you what, let's go here. We're starting off with Wolf. Okay. You know what? This one right here on the top.
Weather to report on.
Huh?
We didn't have too much really bad weather.
Yes, and I'm very thankful for that. But April is just starting, so let's not, call it a done deal yet. April tends to be when you have the really heavy stuff.
Yep.
So. Okay, so for Wolf, it says, let your intentions create your methods and not the other way around.
Oh, shit.
Let your intentions create your methods.
Basically, keep your mindset outside of what you're actually doing.
Don't.
No.
What it means is
it's a little more different than that.
Hey,
Let your intentions create your methods is this. What's your goal? Don't worry about the tool to create the goal. What's your goal? The goal should always be the first step in figuring out how I'm going to get there. Little tip. If it ain't written down, it ain't a goal, it's fantasy. So let it be written.
So let it be done. Yes, they're we have some folks on the altar who are rather fond of that line. But yeah, and especially because I know where you are, and it's the sense that I'm getting, and maybe it's because of that. It's real easy to let your circumstances sway you on what you want to do, where you want to be. Don't let the clutter around you seep into your mind. Keep a focus on what your intentions are, and not just on, what's easy, what's expedient. That's the kind of the sense that I'm getting from that. So, next up was Amenopus. So, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, this one was like about to come out. Okay, Amenopus, it says, live in this moment. All caps.
Oh, shit.
Live in this moment.
Somebody is giving you a direct command.
Well, what's the thing about never his mind on where he was, what he was doing.
What he was doing.
Yes, Darren does it much better than me, but
adventure. Yeah. Excitement. Yeah. You need not these things. Where are you in your life? What are you doing? Don't focus on what you don't have. Work with all your might on what you do and what you want will come crawling toward you. You're not out of time. You're just ahead.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Huh. Oh, salary, you're in Canada. Cool. Turkey vultures. Actually, I think we have a few turkey vultures down here. Is it turkey vultures and then black vultures?
Yeah, most of them are in Congress.
No, no. Vultures actually they're cool. Because remember, there's where Darren used to work years ago. It was a bank building, and of course that was hilarious. You had a bank building, and there was 2 vultures that had built a nest on top of it.
Yes, I always thought it was hilarious.
Well, it's funny. That was right before the big collapse, the Great Recession.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that you had 2 vultures that were nesting on the bank building. But the folks that worked there had nicknamed them Sweetie and Tweety.
Yeah.
So and you'd see them like huddled up next to each other. They'd groom each other and stuff, So.
And I'll never forget them trying to teach their little one to fly. Because the little one hit my window in my office.
Because it was a glass window.
It slid down the window, Looney Tunes style. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, and Serrano's got some good advice too.
Here,
yeah.
But they tend to hang around the restaurants. They circle up here at the top of the hills.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we got Omnifus. Okay, Salary is next. And then Domino. Okay. So Salary. Wait a minute. You know what? Come right here. That's your cookie. And Salary. It says, never make the mistake of thinking that you know everything about anything. Yes, there's always more to learn. It says never make the mistake of thinking that you know everything about anything.
Sounds like something Tehuti would have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Dominanoxus, also another one. So, okay, and that one right there. That is yours. So, and Domina, yours says, listen to the wisdom of the old.
Wow. You don't hear that very often. Oh, wow. Wow. Apply it in your life where it counts. You know who they're talking about.
Yeah, because I know we tend to talk about the old wisdom, especially as pagans, and try and project it further back. That's talking about.
They said, listen to the wisdom of the old. Not the old ways, the old.
Yeah,
they're talking about people in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a direct message.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you are lucky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yes, Oracle is next, and then Alejandro. And then imagination bound. Okay, and surround. Okay. So yeah, we'll start with Oracle. Oracle, Shogun, Oracle.
But doesn't she already know?
Okay, well, wait. All right. Okay. Joy is the feeling of grinning on the inside.
It's also knowing your test results are negative.
Oh, it is. Well, maybe it's because of the writing I've been doing lately or something. But I thought of Starscream, and grinning on the inside because something that the rest of the world doesn't. But I'm not sure if that would apply here. But grinning on the inside, that can be lots of things.
Yeah.
So we'll go from. Okay. Let's see. I said, I think I know what they mean. Bit cryptic, but cool. Let's see. So Oracle next Alejandro, and then Imagination Bound. So kind of doing two at a time. And no, you're not too late. Seems like it's too late to ask for a fortune. No, we're just going down the list. So, our pal Alejandro, Darren, I know you're thinking something. Okay. And Alejandro. Mighty forces will come to your aid.
Well, that was a really nice one.
That sounds awesome as heck. Yes, mighty forces will come to your aid. Don't sweat it this week. I think you're good. But no, that might be a way of saying be aware of that, and
don't get lazy. Keep working. You got help coming. They got to have something to work with.
Yeah. Okay. And next was Imagination Bound.
Imagine that.
Okay. This one. Imagination Bound. Never doubt logical things.
Fascinating.
Well, don't let somebody gaslight you. If you're like, okay, this is what makes sense, don't let someone try to, dance around that. Never doubt logical things.
Sounds like something Spock would say.
Well, that's why Darren was like, fascinating. And I okay, JB. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to go through and see. I might. Let's see. Okay, JB would like one too. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, and yours. Yeah, we got yours. All right, tell you what. Yeah, we'll do JB, and then there's a prayer request. Okay, go ahead. Tell us what your prayer requests are. And Cam. let's see. Ooh. And Serrana. Okay. Okay, tell you what. Okay, now some prayer requests. Let me get. Let's see, we're gonna do JB, then Cam, and then I think Serrana. And by the way, if y'all want to see, if y'all are skimming through there and there's anyone that we missed, just let me know. And I noticed there were some prayer requests. Go ahead and put those, type those in too, and we will get to them. But let's start off with JB's fortune, and it's entirely possible that I missed it because they're like, okay, wait for it now. So here's your fortune. They were saving this one for you. And JB, just because you put tap shoes on an elephant does not mean it can dance. My.
Stop trying to convince yourself that bullshit is steak.
And maybe don't expect something that if you know someone's not capable of something, don't expect it of them.
No shit. And this person plays a significant role in your life. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that they're not going to suddenly grow up, even though you really, really need them to. The one that's going to have to finish raising you and loving you with all its heart is you. And it doesn't mean that other person is a bad person. It just means they've got limits. Know what they're good for and keep them to it.
Okay. So let's see, that was JB, and next we had Cam wanted a fortune. So and sometimes it's like I just pull it up and it's like, okay, that one right there. So this one, make sure you guys. And it says, let's actually pull the wrappers out of here. There we go. Never give up until you reach the finish line. Sounds like there's something that's been going on, and it's been a long time, and you might be tired of it, but don't give up yet.
Another way to put it is you can rest, but don't you dare quit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, JB is a prayer for my health and self-esteem issues. Find a loving boyfriend. And for my aunt and uncle to remain strong because my uncle's grandpa is dying. Oh. Yeah. And then someone else has a prayer request for ease of anxiety and courage to be able to leave my home when it's time for me to get my vaccine. Yeah, sounds like you've been kind of, sequestered because of the lockdown and everything. We can certainly appreciate that.
Yeah.
And prayer for my uncle's grandpa to pass to the fields of peace. Peacefully. And, we got someone who just joined recently.
Welcome.
How do I differentiate between being called by a god or just interest? I don't know if I think Amin is cool or if he's calling. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? And
you know what? Ask him.
Well, you know what? I think being interested is their way of calling you sometimes.
Sometimes.
So in fact, I think a lot of the times.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So huh?
If you feel it, raw, if you feel it, if you notice them,
Mm-hmm.
they're drawing your attention in any way,
mm-hmm.
that probably means to have a conversation with
Yeah, yeah. If you're taking an interest in them, they're calling you, for they want to have a conversation with you, like you might have said. So yeah. And okay, and I know there was one more that we were looking for. Let's see, got JB. Yeah, we got. I think Serrana was. Yeah, because I think you were wanting one as well. Yes, yes, okay. Alrighty. So, whoop, there we go. Serrana. You've been giving some really good advice today, too, so. Yes, and now, their advice for you is many will travel to hear you speak. So, don't doubt yourself. You have good things to say. Hmm?
He has something very important to say to someone.
Or she. Well, we'll just, those people will come. There are people who will come. They will pay attention to you. So just don't doubt yourself. Have confidence. Like I said, you're giving some really good advice when we were talking about relationships and stuff like that. So, you have some wisdom. Share it. Yeah. And yes, and also repeating our prayer requests that we got. People that are anxious and been cooped up and wanting the courage to get out when it's time to get a vaccine, and people that are praying to get their turn with the vaccine, and Lady Sekhmet, if you'll continue to help us to help people get the vaccine, not just here in the United States but around the world. We're trying to get vaccines out to everyone, and the toll that it's taken on us all emotionally, with anxiety and depression and being afraid to leave your house and wondering if you can trust other people again too. I'm noticing that myself. May we find healing from those things as well, because this is there's a lot more to this than just the virus itself. So
the virus is completely enveloped in fear. Fear is killing people's ability to interact.
Yeah. And also, that request for someone whose aunt and uncle are struggling right now. They're losing someone that's special to them. May they find strength and comfort, and may their grandfather also find strength and comfort as they transition from this world to the next. So we ask you, most merciful gods and goddesses, to be with us. Okay. And okay. Okay, yeah, and Serena's saying I wanted an answer about parenting, and I'm the one that wants to do everything different. It's very hard to be confident in my own methods, being so different than my family, but that was helpful. Yeah, and you know what? Um, you know, I try not to give advice on parenting because I don't have any kids, and you know I know there were so many things that my parents did wrong, and I said, you know what? The simplest way is just don't have any kids. You know, you won't do it. You won't screw anything up that way. But for those that have the courage and the fortitude to do that, I noticed, looking back at like my mother, she was very quick to complain about the things that her mother had done that she didn't like, but without thinking about it, she tended to do the same thing. So if you're already conscious and okay, I'm going to do something different, then my hat's off to you.
I have to say this. As someone who's been in a parenting role.
That's right, because you had foster kids for a little while.
I did at 19 years old. And I tell you what, I had to learn very quickly. You go into parent autopilot, and parent autopilot means you do shit like your parents did. And it takes a conscious vigilance to go, I would have liked to have seen my parents do this. Therefore, I need to make sure that I do something like that.
Yeah.
And I speak differently and I do differently.
Yeah. So if you're already doing that, then like I said, I bow to your wisdom.
Yes, and I can tell you.
I know that's hard. Yeah.
And I can tell you this: it's not just about what you say with your kids. It's about what you do. It's not about what they see, it's about who you are. Because what they don't see tells them just as much as what they do.
Yeah.
You can't talk it, you gotta live it.
And you're saying, yes, the autopilot sucks. So.
Autopilot fucking sucks. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
But
I did mark this broadcast as not for kids. So.
You have to be conscious in telling yourself, and give yourself credit, because if you can say, my parents did this right, and I need to do something like that, and they did this wrong, but what their intention was this. So take the good intention and do it right. It's honoring you, and it's actually honoring them. So you can actually right their wrongs that way. So think of it as a positive regardless. And I can say that as someone who did it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I can say having been in a parental role.
Oh, with
it's okay for you to be human, and once in a while lose your patience.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes.
That will happen. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself as much as you forgive them.
And on that note, let me say this. When you make a mistake, the best thing you can do is look your child in the eye and go, that was on me.
Yeah, well,
I should have done this.
It's funny. Serena was just saying, sometimes I wake up from that autopilot and apologize. If I do nothing else, I'll apologize when I do something wrong. So
yes, and
so
you should.
So our hat is off to you. Because the thing is, I know what my limits are, and I know that is beyond my limits. So that's why I don't do it.
And the other thing you learn real quick as a parent, what you think are your limits aren't.
Well, like I said,
it's a very complicated mess.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and because we've gotten our divinations, and we got some prayer requests in. If anybody else has some, just let me know. But I'm also going to mention that last weekend we mummy wrapped my brother's real doll.
We really mummy wrapped it.
Yeah, and actually, what's funny is I had to go back later and get another sheet so I could wrap some more, because it's basically going to take 3 sheets to completely wrap that thing. Yeah. And we taped it, and so I guess if I have a prayer request, it is let me find plenty of opportunity to go through and review all that footage, because that was a couple of hours worth from 2 cameras of us,
3.
Yeah, 3, because Darren had one. Because, we're picking this doll up, sitting here posing her and doing all this stuff, we put instead of an Eye of Horus plaque on her abdomen, where a mummy's incision would have been made, we put an Eye of Thundera.
And for those of you who don't know what the Eye of Thundera is, Google it.
Thundercats. Yeah. But, yes. And so now I owe Darren and our Padawan Morgan dinner and treats for...
Yes, and I get to specify what my treats are.
Yeah, well, I think Morgan's planning on invoking that whenever we're able to go to a convention next, and he wants to be able to nerd out. But
okay.
But yes, I'm like, okay, I owe you guys because you helped me with this.
I realized a long time ago that the Code of Thundera was basically Mahaj. It's like
Was it truth, justice, and loyalty? Was the Code of Thundera?
Truth, justice, honor,
and loyalty. Yeah.
Yes, I knew honor was in there somewhere.
Yeah. But gosh.
And it's also very close to the Marine Corps code.
Yeah. Well, parallel thinking. And as far as 80s animation goes, what I'm hoping, if it will arrive in time, is I'm hoping to expose Morgan to The Last Unicorn, because he has never seen that, and that's one of those bits of cult classic animation. So hopefully he won't be, asking for compensatory treats after that, but.
Well, after having to listen to Mia Farrow sing, it's completely understandable.
I don't know. We will broach that this weekend. But now mummy wrapping the real doll, that's going to be for Patreon, because she's naked and she's anatomically correct. I'm not putting that on YouTube.
Yes.
But hopefully there will be like some, stuff from outtakes and some other things like that, and what I may even do is, once I make the mummy mask for her, that's something. By that point, she's going to be covered up, so.
Yeah. But the real good stuff.
Yes, I'm saving
on the real doll is going to be for Patreon.
Yeah, that's going to be.
So pony up.
Well, if you have the opportunity, yeah, because that's going to be hopefully worth the price of admission. But I've got to sit down and go through all the footage, so that's going to be a project. If not this weekend, then during a week, and
of course, the more Patreon subscribers she gets.
Wait, hold on, huh?
I was like, I wonder how many of the younger generation
Mm-hmm.
do they ever stop and wonder where did that word footage come from? Because they don't have actual physical film anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I'm actually thinking of going and posting an explanation on a video that I watched that was trying to explain on twos and that it's 12 frames per second. No, it's not. It's still going at the same rate. But yeah, that has to do with physical film, not digital. But yeah, that's something for another channel.
Right.
But yes. I have another much neglected channel where I deal with animation, and I'm hoping to put some more stuff on that. But again, I just need to do more videotaping and lots of editing. But Oh, okay, yeah, and some other folks are saying, The Last Unicorn's really pretty, and when Brian's saying, "Wish I lived closer," I'd loan you my copy. Well, I've got one supposed to be coming in the mail. Yeah, but I wish
you lived closer just so you could come over and watch it with us.
Oh, yeah, well, you know what, Brian, we need to get together and talk anyway, because I remember I didn't forget you said, and Ren, I think you also would be able to contribute to this, when figuring out some things so we can get the Kemetic Reform registered as a 501c3.
That's right.
Because, I've got some notes and some stuff already outlined, but, there's like some particulars that, it helps to have real people to talk to that know what they're doing. So.
That know what they're doing?
Bless you.
No idea. They never.
Yeah.
Bless you. Darren, you're such a mess. All right, well, hope with us, the good things are afoot. And let us pray that these offerings will endure. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Kepri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Yunu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost to the great in need, endures.
What's up with this, y'all?
Well, and I sneezed out Shu and I spat out Tefnut.
Well, I guess I did, didn't I?
May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset and Yunu, endures. I see the Egyptian word for sneeze was ishish. Yes.
Glad I could contribute.
An appropriate time to say Ujai.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
This is the name of Tefnut, mistress of Lower Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Geb at the earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in the shrine of Shenit in Yunu endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiam Entiu endures. As the name of Asat in Nicheru endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pe endures. As the name of Wajit in Depth endures. As the name of Jehuti in Kemenu endures. As the name of Ra in the Akhet endures, likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace. Amun, Mut, Khonsu, Ma'at. You have come in peace, O Naturu. May you go forth in peace, O Ra. May you go forth in peace. Amun, Mut, Khonsu, Ma'at, O Naturu. To every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Menjet bark and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants.
Y'all, I want you to know Segment was tickling me right before I sneezed.
Well, she does have a sense of humor.
Yes, she does. And is so very gentle,
Mm-hmm.
at least with me.
Oh, bless you. I'm an up. It says, honestly, this live service is the only thing I look forward to every week. Just want you to know your work doesn't go unnoticed.
Oh, honey, you have so much more to live for and to do and to look forward to.
But we're certainly grateful.
And we're honored. I mean,
yes. We love you.
I mean, look, it's folks like you that make it worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have to thank you guys because, the other animation and the other writing and stuff that I do, I would love for that to get noticed, but even without that, I know that it gives me peace to be able to do this and to bring something good for everyone, and so I'm as grateful for you guys as y'all are for me. So, love all around. And Ren says, "Love you, wheelchair Jesus." Love you too, Ren. Love you too, Brian.
Ren,
okay.
You owe me a hug. You owe me a hug, sweetheart.
Okay, yeah, and okay, the Discord link. If you're looking for our Discord, look up Kemetic Reform chat and on Discord, and you should be able to find it. You'll see one of these red banners is the icon for it. So that's how you know it's ours. So Love you guys. And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you all.
You all? What the heck is that? Southerners don't say you all.
Well, they say y'all.
It's not you all. There's
All right. Well, while we debate y'all versus you all, you guys
y'all
say
is
well.
not you all. Y'all is y'all.
And we love y'all.
That's right. Y'all.